Welcome back, guys. Game 2's coming up now. It's Evil Genius up against DTS 2010, and right now it's the new EG squad, and they are looking good. No throws in sight, no EG curse in sight yet. We're still early in the tournament. This is just kind of a warm-up for their lineup. They're up against a wildcard team who made it through the qualifiers, DTS 2010, who are actually sitting okay here in the group 1 and 2, but we're going to hop ourselves into Game 2. I'm Gods from Beyond the Summit. Joining me, as always, is LuminousInverse.
Hello, how are you? Evil Geniuses will opening up the pick with Darkseer, which Universe, by the way, played very well last game. So I think when you pick up players like Universe and Fog, you suddenly add a couple more weapons on your team in terms of having really, really good selected heroes. And Darkseer is one of them. So Gyrocopter, I imagine, is going to be played by Jail. So far, we're already working with a ton of excellent AoE. That is also good at laning himself. So EG looking good so far.
Yeah, EG going to mix things up, not going for the Weaver here this game, which is, I guess they just want to maybe try a different style, try a different carry hero for JO, and just try a different draft that they've maybe practiced here, not wanting to having to sort of rely on one style too much. But DTS 2010 with a Naga Siren very early on, and this is a support hero we've seen just dominate and wreck games. So I do like this pick, but they go into a Nature's Prophet, which it's, while being a really strong sort of offlaner and split pusher, it does sort of, I guess, not really focus on the team fight as much as a Naga Siren does.
Yeah, and I mean, they're kind of good at very different ways, even during a team fight, because Nature's Prophet, picking up a Hex, that's, locking down carry, killing them quickly, that's some of the best team fight tools you could have, but yeah, I think they're going to be looking to play very differently from the outset of the game. Naga Siren generally does set up things like, a Mirana as a pickup, although haven't really seen DTS actually use Mirana that much. It's generally the other teams, like Empire, I see them use it quite a bit. 4FC use it quite a bit as well, so we'll see if DTS has a Mirana pick on their own right.
Well, DTS, no surprises. They're going to be banning out the support heroes, your fear heroes, your fogged heroes. So Jakiro going to get taken out, as does the Bane. So neither of these heroes can make it through. And Fear's Visage from last game already banned out in the first stage. So EG need to grab themselves some supports, but I'd look towards a Chen. Chen's still's in the pool here, and definitely something that Fear can play. And we saw DTS 2010 run it in game 1, but if Fear can get his hands on it here, and he's got the first pick coming out of this ban stage, I think this is probably what EG have their eyes on.
Any idea on why Chen over particularly any other support hero that might be good? Or
it offers so much. Like, they're going like strong team fight, and you want to have something which is, I think it's just the strongest support left in the pool for one thing, and it just adds so much to early game team fights and pushing, something you can do with a Gyrocopter Darkseer to some extent, and Darkseer with a fast mech, and you just take team fights so easily. But I don't think it's a guaranteed thing that EG are looking towards it, depending on whether or not it's something they practice a lot. But I think Chen is it's still very underrated as a hero, even though teams are picking it quite often.
Yeah, teams are recently picking up the Chen like second pick or third pick, so or maybe even banning him quite early on the second stage. So
yes,
it doesn't make sense if they want to go for that. Although again, Chen somewhat weakens your lane. So far, they're actually going to pick up all three of their cores. Clockwork is going to be the last pickup. So Darkseer, Gyrocopter, Clockwork. Now keep in mind that Clockwork can be definitely played as a support. We see Dignitas. Darkseer could definitely play as a support as well. So, though I imagine this is going to be a solo mid Clockwork, Gyrocopter on carry row, and Darkseer on your long lane. And kind of, you already revealed all your cards. I'm not sure if that's particularly too good in a sense, but again, the versatility of Darkseer and Clockwork kind of keep things, keep the enemy team guessing a little bit.
I think they really want the Clockwork, I guess, against the Nature's Prophet to catch him out split pushing. Because Gyrocopter, while he can push back the split push, you're never going to actually kill the Nature's Prophet with this hero. Darkseer, you're unlikely to kill Nature's Prophet with either. So Clockwork's like the I guess, initiator and the one designed to just assassinate this Nature's Prophet. And something very valuable. And even going on the Naga Siren, I think, can help out your team a lot, because it could force out a very preemptive Song of the Siren.
Actually, Clockwork, now they said against Naga Siren, he's actually considered as a Naga counter, because Naga Siren a lot of times would like to use Song and then allows her allies to TP away and herself to TP away. But Clockwork, because his hook is so long as a range, especially at level 11, he could just hook into it, canceling the TP, and the Song by that time should be over. And that's a way to kind of combat Song when you're using it as a escape spell. And also, if you're initiating onto Naga, a lot of other initiators, you jump on the Naga, she survived the initiation because she has things like, 7 base armor, 8 base armor, and then she Song, so your initiation is useless. Now, Clockwork, he hooks in, and then he battery assault, and Naga actually can't cast anything because her cast point is so crappy. So, Clockwork, defensively and offensively against Naga is just a straight-up counter, so it's a very nice pickup.
Well, EG get themselves a standard support in the Shadow Demon, who used to get picked a ton, although lately hasn't seen a whole lot of play. But I like this hero. It adds quite a lot of utility to the team. Disruption, a very unique spell, and Purge, of course, the Demonic Purge being able to go through BKB, although not seeing any BKB heroes yet on the DTS 2010 side, but can definitely sort of look towards them picking up some kind of a trialing farmer who is a BKB carry based on being up against a Darkseid Gyrocopter. But they go Mirana, so it is going to be your Naga Siren Mirana. Crystal Maiden probably is a tri-lane, and then they need some kind of a solo mid, most likely for Undershock.
I'm not sure whether I like this Mirana pick, even though I kind of talked about it earlier on, simply because there's a Shadow Demon on the map. You ensnare, you arrow, and then Disruption comes in, so unless you're going to catch out the Shadow Demon by himself, which, by the way, could still disrupt himself under the ensnare, I just really don't see this particular combo getting too many kills in the laning stage, unless Evil Geniuses misplay with Shadow Demon's positioning, which I doubt that's going to happen because it's Fear and Fog playing it. So, I'm not sure.
At the same time, maybe you ensnare them and Shadow Demon, it's like, oh, they're going to get arrowed, let's disrupt. Or you ensnare, then start focusing, so Shadow Demon has to disrupt them, and then the disruption could set up an arrow.
Sure, that's fine.
I guess you do have a chance of hitting an illusion, but...
it just makes it a little bit more difficult, I guess.
Yeah, it's not, and it's very low percentage, I guess, because of the illusions coming out. But either way, we'll see what EG look to get with their last pick here. They've, when we sort of mentioned, probably got their 3 cores. Do you think there's a chance they do run Darkseer as a jungle hero?
I definitely think they can. I mean, EG's draft seems a little bit greedy right now, but you are laning against something like Nature's Prophet, Nature's Prophet. Actually, normally I have the mindset to think that Nature's Prophet is a slow farming hero, but recently with the ways that Nature's Prophet is being played, he sends Prophet into your jungle or treants into your jungle, and he's quite disruptive. So maybe you can't actually be too greedy against a lineup like this.
Yeah, I liked how CA played it. He didn't just go straight into the jungle. He spent a decent amount of time at bottom lane. Didn't even... often, like the way Bulldog was traditionally playing him, was he'd block the pull camp at the 30 seconds and 1 minute mark, and then he'd go straight into the jungle. But CA spent a lot more time down there disrupting the jungle, being annoying, and maybe we'll see that once again coming out from him, depending on what they expect EG to have at bottom lane. But
I mean, is this even a long lane Nature's Prophet? It could just be a safe lane Nature's Prophet and go offensive try with Naga, Mirana, and Crystal Maiden. That's quite destructive. It's a lane that could easily challenge pulls. If Naga comes you and you're kind of pulling, for example, a single ensnare into a long range arrow, you're dead. So DTS definitely could go offensive try lane if they want to do so.
Alright, well, EG, they probably need themselves another support if we're looking towards Clockwork in the mid lane. I feel like picking up Clockwork with the Darkseer, if you're planning to put Clockwork mid, I guess you can put the Darkseer mid's the other thing, but there's quite a few mismatches just based on being melee heroes.
And here we go!
4 position Elder Titan, or do we look towards like a solo mid Elder Titan even?
Solo mid, long lane, whatever you want, you got it.
Dang. I'm happy to see this hero, that's for sure.
Actually, with Darkseer coming out of jungle, I imagine this is a support Darkseer now. This is actually pretty sick, because Clockwork, if he's in a solo mid position, Darkseer gives an Iron Shell to the Clockwork, search the Clockwork, and it rarely matters what you have on the other side of the river. They're probably going to be dead. So this is pretty sick draft coming out from Fear, and I think all of us are a lot more impressed with the Elder Titan. We've seen the Chinese team, ROTK, particularly use this hero quite a bit, but we haven't seen too many Western teams successfully use this hero much yet.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen maybe one pick of this hero in a Western tournament, although there's been lots going on, so there's probably a few picks that have gone unnoticed from me. But it was picked up a lot in Cena Cup, and I would say ROTK had some good success with it, but LGD completely flopped with this hero. They picked it 2 games in a row. 1 game they even first picked it, and they made this hero look pretty weak.
Xiaowei's trying some new shit out, so I don't know.
We'll excuse Xiaowei for now, is that it? But I'm sure EG Fear's been practicing with this team for some time, and I'm sure he's got a plan with it. Stormspirit actually the last pick for DTS 2010.
Interesting.
Interesting indeed. They've got a ton of just like catching potential with a Stormspirit zipping around Nature's Prophet with his global TP, and you've got your Mirana arrows flying in. So EG going to be a bit careful with that, but like you said, they have the defensive disruption, they have the Clockwork hookshot as a counter initiator. I definitely like what they've got going, and it looks like it is going to be a support clock based on Fog picking up the Clockwork here. They could still swap, so don't want to get too ahead of ourselves as far as who's going to be playing what.
Fog definitely played his numbers of support clocks in his days. Clockwork's actually got a Stout Shield, so what's going on here?
You can still be support clock with Stout Shield.
Okay.
Looks like he actually bought the Courier. Or the Sentry Ward. He bought something else because he's lacking on gold. But yeah, Dignitas sort of, I don't want to say invented, but they were the only team who really has done support Clockwork consistently. I think used like rarely by the team or two, but Dignitas are running support clock almost every other game during a period of time.
It's Fog that played it, right?
Yes.
Because Wei-Chi just played the other support. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely a role that Fog is not unfamiliar with. And that's what I mean earlier. When you pick up players from the other team, you suddenly just get their signature picks right there. So Fog work for Fog. Here we go. Let's see how effective he's going to be. Well, he's actually... Wait. Okay, he's got pull sentry from Jo. It's your carry pulling your support, guys. Jo pulled a pair of sentries to your clockwork.
Jo's going to get all the farm in the world anyways, and...
Why not, right?
They want to make sure they have enough regen up here, I guess. But we're going to see Nature's Prophet once again disrupting this top lane. We'll introduce our two teams. Over on the Radiant side, it is DTS 2010 from 3 years ago. The somewhat famous team of late. We're going to have CA playing the Nature's Prophet. We're going to have Stormspirit being played by Undershock. Tossie playing the Crystal Maiden. ZQQ playing the Naga Siren. And then finally, on the safe lane farm, it is going to be Seema the Slayer.
Yeah, so we haven't... Well, let's quickly introduce EG here. Mojo, or MSS, is going to be playing Elder Titan on the mid lane. Universe coming out to help that block a little bit because MSS messed it up, and he messed it up himself. Universe is going to be playing on the Darkseer. He is going to dodge as trolling bot and go into Jungle Fear. He's going to be playing Shadow Demon up top. Jo pulling support Sentry Wards. He's going to be playing Gyrocopter, and last but not least, the Fog support clock is, well, on the top lane. Looks like Crystal Maiden with a double damage. Instead of hitting for 2 damage, she's hitting for 4. Doing a good job harassing MSS. At least gonna elicit a salve coming out. That's good harass.
Yeah, especially when he wants to get that bottle up. He did just throw an Ancestral Spirit just for the 1 CS, and using that for 1 CS when you need your bottle is well worth it. But notably, I caught at top lane, they got this pull off. Nature's Prophet tried to send Treants in, but they killed off both the 2 Treants there. Rocket Barrage even being used to make sure they killed the Treants there. And with the pulls being used, this Nature's Prophet, I think, realizes his job at top lane, disrupting the pulls, is done. He can't do it. He's going to go straight to the jungle, which I think is the smart play to make from him. Once you can't block the pulls any further, you've got to go jungle.
Yeah, actually, and with that said, we're going to see basically jungle versus trialing, not much to see. So really, let's turn our attention back to the mid lane here. Yeah, MSS versus Undershock. I think this matchup is somewhat actually Elder Titan favored because Stormspirit obviously really good against melee heroes, although MSS is making a good case that perhaps he's a ranged hero. And now whenever he Astral Spirit, he's working with like 80 damage. And now that he's going to be bottle crawling, he got his bottle first before Undershock, because Undershock gone for the no talisman build first.
Yeah,
he's going to do.
He's still getting out farm though.
I mean,
for the time being.
That's true, but I think MSS will be able to catch up quite easily now.
I mean, you talk about the side lanes being jungle versus trial lane. Mid is going to be bottle crow versus bottle crow. So even turning our attentions there, we're not going to see huge aggression coming out or much killing power. At least not early on, I imagine.
Crystal Maiden got Frostbite, got level 2. Is she going to go for a Crystal Maiden build? Yes! I love it.
Fogged just went for some next level shit from the top lane. He sent a rocket and tried to block this neutral camp from spawning. He mistimed it by like half a second.
That is actually next level shit.
That's insane. He didn't. If he'd got that, I would have just been falling off my chair.
You practice timing, from this camp over here.
That's much easier. But judging it from the top lane,
damn. By the way, from here to the jungle is like about 2.5 seconds for those of you guys that play Clockwork. So.
From top lane, from where he's standing now?
I don't know. I never practiced that before.
What's the timestamp that you want to send it off at?
Back in the mid lane here, looks like we have instead Riptide, MSS, and a little bit of trouble. The pull comes in here, and CA, well, gets a little bit of experience, gets a little bit of gold, but Undershock picks up the first blood. Yeah. Suddenly that matchup was dunzo, as they say.
Well, the middle 1v1 matchup is fairly passive in itself, but when the supports start showing up and the junglers start showing up, that's when the kills start happening. And well, we have to look to see if... I love that Toss is still just jungling away. He didn't even go help out for that kill. He's just killing off big neutral creeps and getting some farm for his team as a Crystal Maiden.
Yeah, I mean, gotta level up. Gotta get to 3, and then you start ganking.
Surprised Mirana's not going for the Bassi Ring or the Ring of Aquila. Probably will be with this Wraith Band, but if you want to push down an early tower, you really want to have that Ring of Aquila. And I imagine with an empty lane here, they try and get this early T1 tower.
Yeah. Well, here comes the TP from the Darkseer. Darkseer feeling a little bit more confident now that he's got level 4. He's got to be somewhat careful, though, because Mirana as well as Naga could definitely show up once they realize the Darkseer is here. But the same thing said, EG is definitely pushing up top. They got a siege unit, and here comes the Prophet Tree and drawing the creep aggro back, but Jo trying his best to blow them up.
Yep, not going to succeed in doing so. So the creep aggro pulled off the tower. T1 tower still quite healthy at the top lane. Similar story, well, even very similar story at bottom lane as T1 bottom tower hasn't taken no damage, but it's another gank on the mid lane. MSS, it looks like he scouted this one out. Yeah, Naga Siren going to get hit by the tower and take quite a decent amount of damage here. So MSS feels a lot safer now, as no wards actually protect him on this bottom lane. Just good map awareness.
Fogged continuing trying his best to rocket block camps. He missed about 1 second or so from the top lane to
the same neutral camp.
This camp over here.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I want to see this happen, but
I like the fact that he's trying. I mean,
yeah. He's missed it 3 times in a row now, but even so, it's still like it's 50 mana. He's still sitting on full mana right now.
Storm Spirit perhaps is going to get doved upon on the mid lane. It's going to be a very difficult dive.
He's almost 6 too. I think his creep wave is his level 6.
Yeah, it is, and that's going to be very unfortunate. Well, the gank's done though.
All right. Well, those 2 supports probably going to see them just go back towards the top lane. They'll see that level 6 now and be like, well, crap, we can't actually kill him anymore.
There's no way. Fear's actually still...
They may harass him out of the lane.
Actually, if you get a stomp on top of the disruption, that could be the kill, because it really allows you to set up everything else.
But as soon as you damage him, it's not a stun, it's just like a sleep.
Right.
As soon as you damage him, he just zips after the damage.
Well, I was going to say, maybe you could set up for other long stuns, but look at that, there's no long stuns.
Yeah.
I guess if Fog do a really good cogs and push him back, and they just right-click him down with the Soul Catcher on top, that sounds like I'm writing a book. That sounds not going to happen.
The amount of plot holes in this story, Lumi, is beyond even your normal standards.
There's no at least tree armor in this.
I feel like I'm hearing the latest season of Dexter plot right now, which is absolutely awful. You're severely disappointed. You don't watch Dexter, do you?
I do not. Okay. American TVs take too much time.
Alright, well, Nature's Prophet still farming in the jungle is looking for that minus. No surprises there. And the mid lane Storm Spirit, we've seen him actually taking a decent amount of harass, but as said, he's bottle crowing as always, and we'll probably be looking for another rotation from the supports. I definitely look towards the CM, maybe TPing in or going for another smoke gank, and MSS, definitely the easiest kill to get on the map.
So, we haven't really talked about MSS skill build at all, because it's like, oh, the other 10, similar standard skill build, but if you look at it, he's maxing natural order, skipping his ultimate, skipping his Echo Stomp. It's just straight up Astral Spirit and Natural Order. I guess he just want to nuke him real hard, because the Astral Spirit does go with your Natural Order passive is on your hero and is also on your Astral Spirit.
Yep.
And every time he tosses out in a storm, it's hurting like a truck. You see that storm is, despite bottle crawling, he's like low HP every time.
There's so much setup for his ultimate as well. I feel the Stomp this game isn't all that necessary. You've got a Clockwork who can hook and cogs. You've got Shadow Demon Disruption. You've got
but you're skipping your ultimate at 6. Come on.
Oh, skipping the ultimate's a bit unusual, but I think it's at the same time he knows there's no ganks coming in where he's going to be able to use the ultimate. If he's going to hit level 7, it's going to be like, well, he doesn't. Maybe now he levels up ultimate until there's actual ganks coming in. He doesn't need that ultimate, or if he wants to go ganking, then he considers it. But
yeah, for those of you guys that have not seen
it's like OD. It reminds me of OD. Like OD, often you don't get ulti at level 6 because you're not going to use it at level 6. You'll use it maybe at level 7, level 8.
I mean, we definitely seen ODs getting level 6 ultimates and
yeah. It's very depending on the matchup. If you're against an intelligence hero, you're like, well, I'm not killing them. If you're against a melee,
I know you're trying to defend this build, but I'm gonna say this is not the standard build.
No, it's not standard, but I think it's fine. He's level 7. When would if he had his ultimate, would he have used it by now? Answer's no.
Well. That I can't disagree with you. For example, if there's a tri-lane versus tri-lane situation where the matchup is heavily contested, then the Echo Stomp and an ultimate is a lot more effective, where you make the TP and you get a couple kills. But yeah, in the mid lane, you're not going to kill a Storm with anything. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I think it's a perfectly fine way to be playing this matchup here. And
okay.
The Stomp obviously being missed is sort of I guess the way that the EG have decided this hero can be played. And I think when the fights do break out, Stomp is not going to be a factor. It's just going to be the Clockwork cog setting stuff up. Undershock, I mean, he's taking 400 damage every time that Ancestral Spirit comes out.
That thing hurts like hell. Not only does it amp your own physical, it lowers your base armor by a certain amount. It also lowers your magic resistance by a certain amount, or does it make your magical damage do more damage? Essentially, it makes your nuke harder.
Yeah, I'm not sure how all the maths work with this spell, but everything hits harder and nukes harder. Is
base resist reduction. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
It basically cancels out at max level. It basically cancels out their 25 natural reduction. So that's pretty legit stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no base armor is gone right now. If you've got that on you, you've got no base armor.
Okay. Not like MSS is actually going to hit him after Astro, though. He's just staying back, playing like he's Keeper of the Light, man. He's just like nuking you hardcore.
Yeah, well, he's got the maxed out Natural Order and Astral Spirit. I imagine we get the ultimate level 9.
Top lane here, some next level blocking coming out from meanwhile Fog is gonna get ensnared. The arrow's gonna follow through. The arrow's gonna hit, and Fog in huge trouble. He's still very tanky thanks to the Stout Shield. Defensive disruption is gonna come right in, but there's 4 heroes, and now Fair in huge trouble as well. The Colin's gonna come through and doing a ton of damage, but looks like one person said he wishes he has the ultimate right now, MSS, but he's also gonna get brought down after teleportation, and suddenly it's 5-0.
Wow, that escalated very quickly. 4 kills at the top lane, all going DTS 2010's way, and Tier 1 Tower as well. This is a huge, huge win for them. Stormspirit just a much better hero to rotate to these other lanes than Elder Titan, especially as you said. Elder Titan without an ultimate, so I don't know. EG, they just didn't have the firepower to fight that top lane, and all the heroes rotate. That was DTS rotating all 5 heroes to the top lane.
I don't think that particular fight really decided was by best skills. I think it's more their positioning. They just kind of went in one by one, right?
I think they made a decision to try and save Fog. If they let Fog die, they lose Clockwork and no one else died. But they made a commitment to try and defend him. Shadow Demon comes in for the disruption, and then that's just his Storm TP. So Storm's like, oh, Shadow Demon, let's get another kill. And Gyrocopter had also run back in. He was next to the Shadow Demon, so that was 2 more kills. And then Elder Titan TP. It's like you say, it was 1 by 1, but it wasn't with the intention of 1 by 1. It was just a simple decision they made to, hey, let's try and save Clockwork when they should just let him die.
Yeah, we saw very similarly in game number 1, DTS did okay in the laning stage, and then just after one team fight, just collapsed. So let's see if EG, the much more veteran player here, to kind of poise himself to make a recovery from that, because that definitely looked really bad. They lost a Tier 1 tower out of that as well, and the goal graph really reflects it's dipping a little bit now, but it definitely was a sharp spike upwards.
Yeah, well, Clockwork Fog is now getting himself a bit of time in this lane. He's actually just, I think Jao just saying, hey, look, you get your level 6, get the hookshot into play. Jao's going to do some pull camps here. He's just going for a standard phase drums build, so not going. This isn't really your standard hard carry Gyrocopter. No Helm of the Dominator rush. And I imagine EG, once they get this hookshot up, they're going to be looking for some kills and just looking to fight again. Maybe MSS looking to pick up the Earth Splitter at level 9. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't now.
Yeah, I think EG's building themselves for a very early game push. If you're looking at the item choices for everybody, Jao's going for the drums, like you said. The mech's going to be up in like 12 minutes of time. He's going to be up in the next minute, and that's actually very impressive from EG. And the way that's his skill build coming in from Elder Titan, who is actually maxing Astro as well as Natural Order, he's not going to go for the Stomp. He's going to use the Astro in combination of the Rocket Flare to just basically scout everything behind the tower, and you just slow sieges with everything else. The one thing they have to be very, very, very careful about is that Clockwork Hook is actually blockable by Astral Spirit. So you Astro behind and Fog decides, hey, I see a support, let me hook into it. He could very well hook onto MS's Astral Spirit and basically look a little bit silly. So that's something that they have to be concerned about.
EG going to go for a smoke. I like that they go through their Ancients here, because often you'll smoke and go up this hill here, and you get revealed from someone on the high ground, and your smoke just gets foiled. But they're going to rotate all the way around. Much more patience from EG. And, well, this bottom lane, there's a Mirana that they can maybe go on, but they're looking through the jungle. Uh-oh. I think those pings from both teams, actually.
No, Fog does see a clock. He's going to hook, and he's going to find CA, and CA, well, he's definitely dead. I like CA. Midas. He actually Midas before dying. That's fucking value.
That is some good old value there. I think he was going to Midas it regardless, but as soon as he gets hooked, he makes sure he gets it off. And, well, Mirana needs to be damn careful bottom lane. The Moonlight Shadow actually used, and not going to see follow-up on this one, but it does sort of reveal to him what's coming this bottom tower's way, and this bottom Tier 1 tower definitely needs to take a fall here.
I think still a pretty decent trade for DTS, though. They were going to lose a Tier 1 tower for a Tier 1 tower mid if they could get it. Yeah, you lost Nature's Prophet, but that's a 5-man smoke game. You can't really avoid it too much. If you get a successful trade here as DTS, you get a much more strategically important Tier 1 tower mid than losing a bot tower. Yeah, it's actually DTS advantage.
Alright, and this is almost with an Orchid up in the Storm. At the same time, Storm with an Orchid not good at fighting into a 5-man push, especially with tanky heroes. You're looking at Clockwork, Darkseer, Elder Titan, all strength heroes who are pretty hard to actually jump on and kill.
DKB,
yeah. It feels like having the Orchid alone. He can pick off lone heroes, but who's actually going to be on their own split pushing? EG, not at all. They just want to stick as 5. It's kind of a 5-man push, but it's not really a push lineup. I think it's more like a let's group up as 5 and try find a 5v5 fight. The smart thing for DTS 2010 is to never take that fight. They should just keep this kill score 5-1 for the next 10 minutes if possible and split push the map. They've got Nature's Prophet. They've got Storm Spirit who can pick off heroes if they are alone. And if EG are going to stick together as 5, that may not happen, but Storm can just then say, okay, I'll farm my BKB, and then Mirana farming somewhere else. So I think DTS 2010, their best bet is to just split the map and not let EG take these 5v5 fights.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that decision to play a little bit kind of avoidance and then split push. Now, the one kind of big factor in all of this is Fog. If Fog could land some excellent clockwork hooks, like the way that yesterday we saw Mag for Team Empire land those hooks, I mean, suddenly your split push is non-existent. So we'll see whether he can do that. We're going to see Rocket Flare kind of slow down this push a little bit, but Tier 1 tower is going to go down as well, so...
Or is it? Dax is keeping it.
Okay.
No glyph.
There's no C, or there's no glyph, yeah. I mean, you say that it's EG that's, you know, grouping up a push, and so far it's DTS that's finding the better trades, in terms of towers at least.
Yeah. Well, they're going to TP the Storm Spirit to the top lane. He's just now about 600 gold away from his Orchid Malevolence. Not able to find too much from Elder Titan. He's finally got that Earth Splitter ultimate. We're looking at a level 9 Elder Titan. No points in the Echo Stomp.
Okay.
I guess there's so much to wake heroes up. I mean, you're looking at just flat cannon would wake heroes up in the sleep, so at the same time, if you hit the stomp, you just wait for the
If you hit the stomp, you just call down and everybody's dead, right? So
yeah, that's if you go for the level 4 stomp build. But I think this is a bit more reliable as far as damage output, because
actually
initiating with stomp is really hard.
I mean, actually, if you look at the way that Stomp is scaled, and nobody has actually, you know, say this is the de facto Elder Titan build or anything, so maybe MSS is onto something. Song the Siren's gonna initiate, and MSS, well, the arrow's gonna miss because Clockwork Hook and Earth Splinter's on top, leap back out, and so nobody's taking any damage. Calldown's gonna come through. It looks like Naga Siren's gonna be the only one to fall down. Again, the decision to actually take a fight really close to the enemy tier 2 tower is the one that DTS doesn't want to take, and suddenly you can see that with Song down, AG says, alright, let's just go for a push. Yeah. DTS 2010 throwing away their advantage.
Yeah, I think they would have killed MSS there if they managed to get the Song arrow, right? The arrow was shot as the Song was cast. I think he thought he needed the arrow initiation,
but even if they got that hero kill,
yeah,
I mean, Fog was going to come in, Fear was going to come in, you're not going to run away.
They still at least lose one there and potentially 2 heroes. So I don't think it was a good idea regardless, but they were hoping to at least get the MSS there, and they were going to lose the Tier 1 tower following the kills. So EG just punishing silly mistakes there from DTS 2010, and well, now they go back to farming a bit more. I think it looks like they realize they maybe have to take this a bit late game. They're going to be farming a BKB for JO. They are looking at maybe just getting up a few more key items on some of these heroes.
Yeah, BKB on JO is going to allow him to farm a little bit more safely from the threat of a Storm Spirit, and a little bit later on from a threat of a Nature's Prophet as well. Of course, your Mirana is going to be going for your hard late game carry, which, to be honest, takes quite a bit of time to actually get there. You need like 3 or 4 tier 4 items to actually get there. Mansao is a good place to start. You need things like MKB, crits. BKB would actually allow you to right-click more. We'll see exactly what path she decides to take down.
Alright, well, I like... The mech up on the Nature's Prophet is going to be coming very, very soon. Actually, just 15 gold away. And Seema the Slayer, he's almost completed his match cell. So DTS 2010, while they don't want to take these 5-on-5 fights, once they get some of these key items, maybe things go a bit better for them.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is such a slow game that if Nature's Prophet doesn't go for the mech, it might actually benefit the team a little bit more. Now, with that said, it's hard to say, oh, you know, EG's got a mech, and if we don't have our own mech, they're going to push us. And that's definitely a very high possibility. So it's definitely a very safe item choice, but it's going to hurt his late game farm quite a bit. Because if you have a Shadow Blade right now, then you know you're actually killing people, you're split pushing, you're farming a lot more aggressively. But instead, he's just farming his own kill.
I think he's happy with just the Storm Spirit maybe fulfilling that role as far as getting the kills. Not so much split pushing, but he's one who can maybe get those kills. And with a Nature's Prophet TP and still a decent amount of damage output, and just throwing an ultimate will help the Storm. But Mirana as well, straight Manta style, not really your late game carry build right off the bat. I mean, Mirana not really a traditional late game carry because you need to go for these items like Manta. Yeah, you need 2 or 3 big items before you even look like a carry hero as Mirana.
That's the sad part. That's why we see teams like lately playing like Arcane Mech Mirana. Yeah. Or like Treads Drums and into like one item.
Yeah, you may go Treads Drums as Manta, but the Manta is like very late in the game and not really used as an offensive item. It's more like a kind of defensive utility item.
Right.
But we'll get things back underway here. EG, they're smoked up again. They're near this top lane. They're sitting behind JO here, and I think it looks like they want to get this Tier 1 tower. Hook shot will be the way they're looking to start things off here. Fog's going to be looking for a line that he can maybe find initiation.
This is, I mean, if the fight actually goes well here for DTS 2010, it could go really well, because Undershock's got himself a double damage, although being scouted out now, because the Astral Spirit now sees stuff.
This is just, I guess the way that EG pushes, they just push heroes back. Clockwork Rocket Bright spam, Ancestral Spirit spam, this gets heroes really low, really fast, and Well, it's only level 1 rocket flare, but I'd still love to see this like start getting leveled up by Fogged and doing a bit of damage. And you can't really fight into this because EG have perfect vision. They get vision from the rocket flare, they get vision from the ancestral spirit.
It's a sight that's so important. Perhaps not as important against this team, because this team literally can come from everywhere. Prophet comes from behind you, Storm just zips in from a mile away. And of course, with things like Moonlight Shadow, like they can initiate very freely. With that said, though, you still have a ton of vision, so I don't know. Yep. EG going for a slow push. They got a tier 1 tower up top, and they're now going back to farm.
Well, Seema's going to have enough gold for his Manta Style now at the bottom lane. We'll have to see if he looks to pick that one up. MSS, he's still stacking Ancient, so there's a big Ancient stack that EG can deal with. Jero would definitely love to get to grab that a bit later on. He doesn't have the best items for killing it right now, but he can always just take this with his team.
Yeah, so earlier we were kind of talking about the Echo Stomp. Do you actually level up Echo Stomp? Because the sleep duration increased, which is always nice. Like, yes. More stun time is nice, but with how the team fight's going right now, you just sleep them for 2 seconds. 2 seconds is enough time here for a call down.
I think for the Earth Splitter it takes quite a while. It's actually like 3.14, so it ends up being around 3.5 seconds after.
Right. If you're trying to set up yourself, then you need to you want to max Echo Stomp. But if you're setting up call down, you're setting up a Clockwork Hook. That needs like half a second.
I'd be surprised if he doesn't level it up. I think it's definitely worth leveling up. I mean, the mana cost does go up a little bit, but I think it's worth leveling up just for the longer duration. Especially if you're in a fight where you're only going to maybe single target, then you can leave the other heroes asleep while you focus on one and keep the other heroes still asleep.
I think if Elder Titan was a squishier hero, or if he had a much weaker monopool, I think you could make the argument where you don't level up for stats, but I think Elder Titan's base stats is fairly impressive. So.
He's going to keep on spamming quite happily. They've also got the mana boots on Fog to help sustain him there. And Darkseer actually building towards the side of the Vice. So Universe with an ultimate orb up in himself. He's 0-0-0. This is, it's similar to the last game. EG just happy to play very patient Dota. And your traditional EG throws nowhere in sight with Demon, Bambo no longer this team. It's not quite the same aggressive team.
Damn, shots fired.
No, I was segueing to a different topic, which is this team no longer is much aggressive, not so much as those are the players responsible for their throws. I misspoke, Lumi. Those guys, I mean, deserve all the praise. I mean, especially Demon. Demon's been with EG for so long. I saw a thread on Reddit about like how long players have been with organizations, and Demon has been with EG for such a long time, and he's really done a great job with them over time and developed so much as a player.
You misspoke. But the viewers also misheard. Let's just leave it at that.
No.
One thing I do want to mention is I'm surprised that Elder Titan hasn't actually been selected against more summon-based lineups. Like, for example, he's actually fairly good against Nature's Prophet. You throw out your your Astral Spirit, you hit like 5 creeps in the lane, you hit 5 treants in the lane, and you draw back, and you're suddenly seeing at, I don't know, plus over 100 damage for yourself, and you can't actually ignore Elder Titan's right click in the middle. He's not traditionally known as a right clicker, but the fact that you're maxing Natural Order first and you're reducing 100% of their base armor, you are hurting like a mother effer. But back in the mid lane here, Fear getting a little bit caught out, and Wrath of Nature and a
easy pick off. Not actually using his DD rune there. Probably something he just sort of forgot about. You definitely want to get these kills as fast as possible when you're worried about a counter initiation. But EG, do they actually have... I mean, their only answer for the Storm is going to come in the form of this Hex on Universe, it looks like, because they don't really have good stuns or lockdown. Clockwork Hookshot's not really long enough or something you can rely on to actually kill off Storm. And meanwhile, bottom lane, looks like Fog is going to catch up the Nature's Prophet. Universe here as well. Seema the Slayer, though, is going to bring down Universe. Double Starfall. Finish him off. Fog now is going to try TP his way out of there. Looks like...
Whoa!
Just in time. Song of the Siren is there. Guarantees the kill on Fog. At this point, probably worth the sleep because there's so little action. It is a 3-minute cooldown, but I think using it there for the Clockwork is still a decent idea.
Yeah, I mean, look at the tier 2 tower that's still up on DTS, and EG's having a little bit of difficulty kind of pushing into it. Their AoE teamfight is very, very good, but, you know, they're not going for any AoE teamfights right now. They're kind of just farming away.
This EG lineup, it feels like they had a plan in mind, but they couldn't find a way to execute it against what DTS 2010 have, so maybe it wasn't the best lineup to go against what DTS have picked here. We're going to see Storm once again find Fear. This Shadow Demon just can't farm or show his face anywhere on the map. Undershock,
no. The right clicks.
You got to zip out of there. He's chasing.
There's
Phase
Rocket,
drums.
there's Astro.
GG.
Phase is going to be used, and Undershock's going to go down to a freaking MSS right click. Bam!
He doesn't even need the Astral Spirit to finish him off. That movement speed.
Don't. I'm telling you, you do so much damage as a Elder Titan. Look at his plus damage right now, with no plus damage item aside from a plus 24 of Phase.
That was only the creeps.
Yeah.
This is without hitting heroes with this. You get What, it's bonus.
Oh, Clockwork Hook's gonna happen on the bot lane, but he just leaped back out the vacuum backwards here. The call down's gonna miss as well. Communication is just not there for EG right now.
One TP out. How's he QQ?
They're gonna get the Naga, but how much does it actually mean?
Oh. Nature's Prophet, I think, was trying to sprout the Naga Siren there, maybe. Hoping he'd keep on running before TPing out himself. If he sprouted the Naga Siren, could have maybe saved his life there, but not going to be the case. And they didn't have the sleep, I guess was the big thing there. Using it in the jungle, maybe something they're going to say, well, kind of wish we didn't.
Well, they get the Clockwork kill. That's fine. And they only lost Naga, so I think it was an okay trade. Storm getting picked off for a fair kill is probably not the trade they were looking for, though. And now EG is going straight into the Roshan pit.
Elder Titan gets 40 bonus damage for every hero you hit, and 12 for every creep.
Yes.
If you hit 5 heroes, that's plus 200 damage.
Yes. And when you have things like Vacuum, which, by the way, they do have. When you have things like Clockwork, which, by the way, they do have. Like, you got some ridiculous damage output. And MSS, I mean, AI 2000, when I spoke to him about this particular hero, he says this hero doesn't do much with farm. And he's more traditionally looking at the more utility Elder Titan, things like Mech, Arcane Boots, Vlads, but Astral Spirit makes a very good argument that you could just be a true hard right-click carry. And it's very similar to Razor. It depends on whether you get... Oh, Storm's going to zip by in, but I'm not sure if you want to be there. Storm, get out of there. The arrow not going to hit the Wrath of Nature. Will actually clean through, though. Clockwork Hook's going to come through. And Tossy, well, he's okay as well, because looks like Moonlight Shadow is going to be used, and Fog initiate to his own doom. Earthsphere's going to get dropped, but that does nothing as well. They just dodge it, and Stair's going to be up in about 4 seconds. They're going to keep chasing for MSS. Here comes a TP. Sprout goes on MSS, and MSS, Astro's out. He's going to go for the stomp. He gets arrow to the face. The silence goes in Universe. Universe gets pulled in, but the cooldown is going to come through. No damage output aside from that cooldown. MSS is also dead. Jo is the one-man army trying to chase everybody away, but
that silence was so clutch.
Yes.
His vacuum had just come off cooldown. I was clicking him, waiting for the vacuum wall, and it was 1 second away, and he got silenced. That was so clutch coming out from Undershock.
I mean, it's basically this death ball of a push coming from EG, but DTS are just like these pesky flies going in and out from all these angles, and you just can't get them.
I think Storm's got his BKB flying out now. Yeah, Storm with a BKB now, so he can almost guarantee himself a kill on someone like the Shadow Demon every time he wants to. Of course, it would cost him a BKB charge, so not always worth it, but right now, DTS 2010 in such a strong position. Seema the Slayer's almost finished off an MKB as his follow-up item to Mantle, and that's when he's going to start looking like an actual carry hero. CA's just gone pure utility support. He's gone for a 4-stuff after his mech. We'll probably look for a Hex next, but even then, he's not a split-pushing machine. He's not hitting hard. He's providing just pure utility and survivability for his team.
The Force Staff's so good against Clockwork. And not too bad against Shadow Demon Purge as well. They're gonna, and of course against Echo Stomp if it ever lands. So far, I haven't seen the Echo Stomp actually landing this game. Now, I mean, I think EG is really in big trouble, considering how that team fight started. It was a Storm Spirit, which, by the way, didn't have BKB. Zip in 1v5, was able to pick off Fear, made it out alive, and then was able to rejoin the fight. Undershock, I mean, there's just really no real sun against him, as long as you don't get hit by the Clockwork Hook, which is fairly difficult to aim when he is zipping around like that. How do you kill the Storm? Now that he's got the BKB, how do you
looks like double Hex is maybe the answer. MSS has picked up a Mystic Star, but this could just as well be for a Shiver's Guard. I feel there's not enough physical damage that you need to go for a Shiver's here. I think double Hex may be what they're trying to do with both Universe and MSS getting one, but the 2 fights they just lost, this is going to slow down those Hexes and give DTS 2010 an even bigger lead. Uh-oh, where's Storm zipped into? He's found Shadow Demon again.
Get out there, get out of there.
He even pops his BKB, but he's getting very low on mana here. If he's not careful... If he keeps on running, this missile's going to hit him when BKB's worn off. He's going to pop invis, so he's going to be okay here. Doesn't activate here.
Using your BKB charges on Stormster isn't the worst deal, because a 4-second BKB sometimes is just as good as a 10-second BKB, because a lot of times the Stormster is either dead or out of mana in the first 4 seconds, so it's fine.
Well,
it's not the biggest loss.
Coming out from the Radiant DTS 2010 team.
Well, there's a Mantis out up now on Mirana, so suddenly she's already right-clicking for a respectable 200 and some.
It's a 10k gold lead as well all of a sudden for DTS. EG just unable to farm up these hexes that they need to counter Storm.
Oh, they see Universe. Let me tell you, Universe is a juicy target. I really think that... Maybe fair then. They are going to just...
Do they even kill him? I think Storm's going to solo kill him. No. I was hoping Storm just solo killed him while the other two sort of went in for an initiation on Jo, but Harrow going to fly...
I actually didn't like the Electric Vortex use on the Storm there. Like, they could have just Frostbite Nova, and that would have been it. Because now, without Electric Vortex, he can't jump Jo.
Yeah. Well, I guess it was worried about maybe just a self-disruption slowing down the initiation.
Well, that's fine. If you self-disrupt, you just drop and remnant there and just move on. And
Yeah,
let
let the CM kill the Shadow Demon or something. CM can just solo kill Shadow Demon there.
Yeah,
Drop the freezing field.
Yeah, there you go.
Exactly, he comes out disruption, freezing field, GG. Oh, hookshot misses on CA at top lane. They're going to chase him anyway. They can't vacuum this because otherwise he just TPs out. Universe going to have to vacuum, it looks like. CA forced TP.
Oh no, the Cogs is going to break him apart. The Cogs!
Oh, battery assault!
He went for the battery assault, which, if it was a step closer.
It was so close.
Do you think with Cogs would be able to do it if he was able to pop it? And
I think so.
yeah. It looked like it was close enough.
Sima gets out of the top lane. Sima actually leapt onto the high ground trees here while they were trying to bring down Roshan. Rocket Flare going to scout out Roche, but I think they're going to bring this down fast enough that they don't have to worry. Naga Siren does need to be careful because getting
They do
very,
have
very
Earth
low.
Splitter though. They do have Echo Stomp.
Too late.
These are the spells that force you to get out of
Is
the
it
pit.
too late? Aegis on the ground.
The Age is still there. Anybody's
Alright,
gonna go in and
Storm
take
got
it.
it.
No, looks like Storm
No one
was
with
able
a
to get
blink.
it. And the song's available. Jo, by the way, in huge trouble right now. Storm zips left. He's out of mana at this point. He's probably gonna suicide. That's a cog on everybody in it. Any AoE spell. And the Shock's still alive. He finally dies.
Murana hurts. Universe is just getting like brought down so fast by this MKB. Universe going to go down. Defensive disruption keeps him alive, but this is just going to set up a Storm zip in onto Fear. 2 more kills go the way. Elder Time the last one standing, an EG with very few options left. They may just lose middle Raxes here. Double kills going the way of the Storm Spirit. Undershock as well as CMF played a very well played game here. Flawless on the Murana. 7-0 and 6. Undershock 8-1 and 7. And EG just don't have answers for these two heroes.
She's got an Elder Titan that nukes really hard. But, which by the way, if you look at his plus damage right now, holy bejesus, plus 355 after Astroing 4 or 5 heroes and a ton of creeps on the mid lane, but can't do anything. Echo Stomp's gonna be right there. That's gonna hit on 4 heroes, and here comes Fog.
Oh my god.
Clockwork Cogs, and they're melting everybody. Undershock's gonna be dead as well, and well, this is the wombo combo of a comeback. CA's gonna TP out, and so will Murana, but damn, holy bejesus Christ.
That is why
beautiful.
EG will play this game, be 20k gold behind, 30k gold behind. They know one team fight. This team fight can happen regardless of what the gold difference is. They have just got some of the best AoE combo possible. Cogs with a vacuum, with an Earth Splitter, it is just damn scary. And then you've got the Gyrocopter with cooldown, but it's not going to be about the cooldown late game. It's going to be about the flat cannon just tearing people apart. And I imagine Jo, with this position, I guess he goes for the MKB, or do you even start considering a Divine Rapier?
Divine Rapier is one of the most dangerous items to go for against a Storm Spirit, against
You're behind,
Naga
though.
Siren, as well as Prophet, who could just get on you. But top lane CA, Vacuum, oh, it looks like just a second too early.
He's
A
dead.
pause come out, but
Well, is he dead? Homing missiles there.
he's definitely dead. Well, I don't
Can he TP before the homing? There's an Echo Stomp if they need it. Never mind. They'll.
No, Echo Stomp already used.
Okay. Oh, so he's okay.
So I think he's gonna force staff himself forward.
Force TP. Doesn't he
Yeah,
live?
force TP. I mean, Rocket Barrage is already a ton of damage.
I think
so.
he lives if he force TPs. To be honest, he's got a mech as well, so he can mech force
Yeah,
TP.
you should mech force TP and pray.
Yeah, I don't think this homing missile hasn't even started moving. It's going to move really slow. It gains momentum, so there's nothing to stop his TP.
Yeah, forget the TP. Can we just talk about that team fight?
Okay.
Because,
Talk to
I
me,
mean, they're
Lumi.
still down by 11 kills. They're still down by, like, a ton of gold. 12,000 gold.
That took the tiniest little dip here on the gold graph. Like
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
that
they
team
want a
fight.
fight. But they can't take any towers. They're not taking any Roshans off of it. So it's just...
It doesn't actually get EG back in the game as much as it just buys them some more time. Buys them a decent amount of time too.
Well,
I love this hissing from the homing missile. What do you think? EG's chances, or are they very few right now, very slim, or are we looking at a decent shot?
very slim still.
Well, there's your force, TP. Alright. Homing missile had enough movement speed. They do get the
Alright.
kill on Nature's Prophet.
Okay. Interesting, interesting.
I'm surprised he
like-
didn't go for the TP scroll, because TP scroll only takes you 2 seconds, the teleport takes you 3. I think it may have actually lived if he used the TP scroll. Which is why I thought he was going to do there, but, well, he gets brought down in the top lane, and that does give EG a lot of breathing room, not having to worry about the Nature's Prophet split push. Even if it's not a scary split push with his utility items, he is still looking to just constantly use his ultimate to push out lanes and just put EG under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I think right now the one big weakness of what their combos, which by the way, I'm not sure if you talked about it, the way that MSS uses Echo Stomp was fairly creative. So he sent his Astral Spirit out, and he recalled it as as a spirit is doing that Superman motion flying backwards, you could actually channel your stomp there, and the spirit doesn't actually show the stomp animation, but it still stomps as it passed there. So he timed it in such a way that as it's flying back, it stomped the 4 heroes that it was going past. Clockwork went in, and the Universe went in. It's very key that they also got the Storm Spirit, because if the Storm Spirit was not stunned, then the Orchid Silence will just stop that combo altogether. If you just stop that vacuum, there was no combo there.
Yeah. And everyone always gets woken up at the same time. I think that's where having the max out stun is so important, because it gives them more time to get in position. It's not about, sure, 2 seconds is enough to get a cooldown, but if you're Elder Titan initiating with that and your teammates, maybe Fog doesn't have a line on his hook shot, maybe Geo still isn't there, maybe it's even Darkseid who needs to still walk in to get in position for a vacuum, you don't actually get those kills. So I think it's just giving EG more space and time. It's kind of like a Naga Siren ultimate. Sure, you can turn it off after 2 seconds for a cooldown, but let's use those extra 5-6 seconds to just get in a better position.
Yeah, I think if EG Universe finds himself either a BKB or Blink Dagger in the next before the next push actually starts, I think they have a very decent shot, because the big central piece of, as you say, the integral piece of this big combo is MSS hitting the stomp and Universe being able to follow up with the vacuum. And he is the person going to get silenced if he decides to surge himself in by a Stormstar. So.
They can still fight without the Stomp at the same time, especially if Universe goes for a Blink Dagger. He can just straight up initiate himself, or we can see Fog initiate with the Clockwork, although that will be initiating into his own death. And as soon as there's some kind of initiation, if it's not an Echo Stomp, Stormstar will be looking to find the Darkseid and silence him.
I really think you have to get the Echo Stomp, because if you don't get the Echo Stomp, the AoE is not big enough, and the Naga song just goes off, and everybody just resets. Okay. And everybody has reset with you either down a cooldown, or down a Clockwork Hook, or down a wall. Like, I don't think you actually just could do
vacuum wall, like to start things off.
Right, you either have to get Naga and Storm, or, which, by the way, Echo Stomp is probably the only
they found Storm at top lane. Storm's just dead.
Okay.
Hex, easy.
Alright.
That's a big pickoff.
That is a huge pickoff. With that said, though, Storm Spirit, by the way, is about 400 gold to Lincoln Spirit, so that Hex, you know, as good as it is going to get a lot less.
Do you think it's a Lincoln's then, not going to be a Hex?
I think Lincoln's is where he wants to be.
Yeah.
I mean, right now,
it's better for sure.
Yeah.
There's
right
no
now,
carry.
Orchid is as good as a Hex to me against this EG squad, who is so spelled.
I mean, the only hero you can't really pick off with the Orchid, which Hex would help against, is Jo. But I don't think Jo is what's causing them to lose a single fight here. Sure, he does decent damage, and it's going to go up from here. But the main problem for Storm is just staying alive. Oh, Fear.
Is he really going to go for this? Fog?
He finds Fog.
Does not have Clockwork.
This Mirana is actually looking like a carry hero right now. MKB Crystallis and 2.7k gold, so...
She's also going to get Daedalus really soon.
Yeah. Well, Shadow Demon going to pick up a gem for the Dire team. I'd be surprised if he's carrying this himself. He is so squishy.
Whoa! The arrow's also going to hit.
Oh, there's a Radiant Ward. This is giving them vision. I think Fog has this. Fog is dead. No? Shadow Demon, defensive disrupting. He comes through homing missile, Starstorm. He knows which is real. Crit!
MKB proc and a crit.
I don't think he gets that kill without the crit, because Fog has a decent amount. Oh, only 5 armor, actually.
I mean, when you have crit and MKB proc, one of them would got the kill, so...
Yep. Alright, well, just a not so important a kill for DTS 2010, but the Storm Spirit going down really hurts Undershock and the DTS team.
This is actually becoming a game right now, because DTS 2010 was kind of routing every team fight they have gotten, and EG suddenly makes this miraculous space defense, and they're up, you know, a couple decent items. MSS got the Shivas, BKB's up on jail for quite a bit now, he's got the Demon Edge, and still saving for a ton of gold. Is this where the quote-unquote EG throw begins? It's not a throw, I don't think.
No, if anything, if
this is a
the
necessary...
DTS 2010 throw. EG know a thing or two about throws and how to maybe deal with them, so they're like, okay, let's try and just put DTS 2010 in position where we can just catch them out and, well...
I just don't know whether JO's saving for buyback or saving for, you know, Divine right now.
I think buyback for the time being, but I don't think they're desperate enough that they have to buy the Divine Rapier yet, but maybe soon.
I don't think the game is going to be won or lost based on Gyrocopter.
Yeah.
It's going to be won or lost based on Universe and MSS coordinating.
Absolutely. I think even if he gets a Divine Rapier, it's not going to turn things around. Another arrow finds Fog here. These arrows...
You're just scouting with these arrows.
Yeah. And finding... Well, initially they had vision. There was a ward on here, which was de-warded by the newly picked up gem, which was when he got the kill on Fog, but right now they're just scouting. Both teams just knowing how important vision is, so Rocket Flare's going out constantly, Ancestral Spirit's being used for scouting, and the Radiant team don't have a whole lot, apart from arrows. Another arrow, go searching, not going to find anyone, but...
I mean, at the same time, if you're EG and you see an arrow flying to your, like, Ancients and you get hit by it, like, think about what's going through your head. You're scared as hell because you don't know what that storm is. Storm literally could just jump on top of you. There's a prophet that could also jump on top of you. So these arrows, they're stopping the ancients from happening right now, and they're still scouting for himself as he's sending it forward.
It scouts out these. Well, the Treant scout an ancient sack. It looks like Mirana may just take this. He knows it's a little bit safe here. He's got a Treant there. They scouted things ahead with an arrow, so I think he's going to steal this ancient sack. Meanwhile, EG, they get spotted killing a Treant over in their jungle here, so ancient sack gets ninja'd by DTS 2010 here.
So Undershock's going to go. Oh, here we go. Divine Rapier time.
All right.
I'm
surprised because they're not down Raktas. Normally it's something like, it's like we're down Raktas, we need damage to deal with the Mega Creep.
They're down 10 kills. They're down 10 kills. They're down about, how much gold they're down by? 15,000. I mean, they don't need to be down by Rax to be freaking down. They just
I agree they're not, but it's like I feel like you don't need the Divine Rapier. Like you said, the team fights are going to be decided by non-JO heroes. And if you give away Divine Rapier to this Mirana, that's GG, for sure.
Well, I mean, you kill JO once without buyback, the game's also GG.
Yeah.
Like,
well, that's debatable. You push into this Darkseer vacuum into the AoE combo of EG. You can fight without JO. That last team fight EG won, I don't think JO did much damage at all.
No, he flacked some.
Yeah.
And maybe had a rocket barrage going on, but looks like we're going to see DTS going to take the last outer tower. Basically, it's free at this point here. They obviously, I don't think they've seen... Oh, here we go. EG smoked up.
They want to get a jump here. They'd love to jump this Storm Spirit. But Storm's gone Hex. They can jump him with a Hex.
Yeah, Storm's gone Hex.
Oh, Universe would love to kill off this Storm Spirit to start things off here.
Oh, Universe, you're going to get silenced. Universe running back in. He's going to get psalmed, and everybody's back off. This is a really bad song. The arrow's going to miss as a result. They hit MSS. Where's the vacuum? No vacuum just yet. They can focus on Universe. Universe still alive. No vacuum. He's going to be dead finally, but dropping everything else. And you can see Jay on the backside just whacking the hell out of everybody. They win that team fight. I think Naga buying back.
Oh, Storm just TP'd out in time. Shadow Demon Fear was coming in, didn't actually have a disruption though.
That song was just not a good song. The arrow it's gonna hit on Fog.
It was used during the Storm BKB. It basically meant Storm didn't have a BKB during the fight.
And also it was during the Hex.
Yeah.
Like the Hex did nothing.
It should have waited like a good 5 seconds later. 5 seconds later could have come, and I think it would have been just fine because they had the Darkseer hexed up and being focused by a BKB Storm. BKB Storm was going to kill off that Darkseer. They did kill him eventually anyways, but he got off his wall.
Yes, and a vacuum on top. He vacuumed first and then wall.
Man.
Okay, by the way, Roshan just respawned and Jo is going there. Like if they get Divine and Rapier, sorry, if they get Aegis and Divine on Jaro, like this is a game now.
All right, well, Seema going to find a double damage ring for himself, and it looks like DTS 2010 themselves may go into Roshan. This is the one problem for EGs. They've got these big ultimates, but when they're not up, like the Darkseer wall, it's hard to fight. Sure, they've got everything else apart from that, but I don't know if they want to try and fight this without wall.
Roshan's down to about half HP to a double damage Potom. What a great time to pick a DD. There's no song, and there's a hook though. Actually, Potom's dropping low. He's looking for the hook. The hook misses. Oh no! The Aegis is dropping low. And he's gonna get the Aegis.
Fog is going to get brought down, it looks like. Fog wanted to go in and disrupt this. BKB being popped by Undershock. I like that BKB just because he doesn't know what's going to be coming as far as Elder Titan maybe getting a stomp off on him, which could just end his days. And Undershock, he's not done. He's going to get hexed up, though. He hasn't got the BKB, but...
He's fine. There's no follow-up. He hexed Jo before it. Yeah.
He's good. He doesn't have the Aegis either. The Aegis on Seema.
And the full split push is coming now. Nature's Prophet's going to TP up top, forcing Jo to TP there. And that's... If you want to get a kill on Jo now, you could force it out.
Vacuum being used in mid, so 20 seconds without vacuum for EG, which is something which is sort of, if it's something at DTS spot, they can just count that out and just, yeah, they're going to chip away at this bottom tower knowing there's no vacuum up. Also knowing there's no Hex for a bit on the Darkseer as well. That's sort of going for 5 seconds, but...
This is a really smart and patient push. They are not all 5 jamming in mid, and like last time, they were sorely punished. They're saying, you know what, we're going to send Prophet up top, we're going to send Storm and Mirana at bot, and just slowly whittle you down. We're not going to get the Rex anytime soon. Unless you make a mistake, but we are going to get the racks eventually, and we're going to force you to make a right move.
Yeah, well, Prophet is now going to TP top to join up here. Mirana, taking a bit of damage, of course, with the Aegis here, but wants to chip away at this tower as much as possible, can keep sending Mantra Illusions, but I don't think DTS can actually break the high ground. AG has everything.
CA's going to get hexed despite being forced that back, and you're going to see on the boss side, they're going to try to run in the base and do as much as possible. CA, by the way, does he have buyback? Yes, he does, so it's okay. It's okay.
Cliff gets forced out. Arrow going to go flying. Oh, here's a hookshot. It's going to be on Seema the Slayer. Can he leap out? He will do so. He's still alive for the time being. He's got no TP. The homing missile needs to be dealt with here. Moonlight Shadow going to get popped as well, and the chase is on. Universe surged himself. Homing missile needs one more hit on it.
You can Manta, and that should be it.
No Manta.
It doesn't matter. Manta.
Darkseer going to chase this? Okay, Invis was still up, so if that Invis wears off, the homing missile does hit him, but
And that's what I mean exactly, that you can't actually initiate without anything but Echo Stomp. Like, you get a Clockwork Hook, and they just song, and they just run away. Earth Splitter was also used, so it looks like Prophet's not going to buy back. There's no reason to waste that buyback if you don't need it.
DTS is going to back off and farm it more. I think we look towards Mirana just picking up a BKB here. There's enough lockdown and stuns and just AoE damage. Sure, Gyrocopter's doing a lot of physical damage, but you've got to go for a BKB. If not, some form of lifestyle. I mean, lifestyle obviously following the BKB, like looking towards a late game Satanic, but without BKB, he can't really fight, it feels like.
You mean Mirana?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, another way to actually go about it is to get a Butterfly. I mean, sure, Jail's hitting for a ton, but if he's missing...
The Flex will hit you, though.
That's true.
I think ultimately, like, if you want to be able to man-fight the Gyrocopter, you need lifesteal more than you need the Butterfly.
So a Helm, basically.
Yeah. Well, I think Helm after the BKB, but we're
you
looking
want
at...
MSS?
Yep.
MSS picks up a Hex, which is legit, and of course, there's also a Desolator up on the Nature's Prophet. Helps the split push.
Okay. But he needs to not get caught out like he's been doing. I mean, not so much his fault. He actually created space at bottom lane. They would have got the tower. Probably not much damage on the Raxes if they didn't have the Glyph PG. But DTS 2010 just need to stay cool and find the pickoffs they're looking for. But right now, EG's sticking as a 5-man unit, and they're just marching down the mid lane.
Yeah, if EG wins a fight here, they win the game, right?
There is Aegis still, and this is just goes to show how confident EG are, even behind by what? Well, 20k gold right now. EG are behind by 20k gold, trying to just 5-man push mid against a team with Aegis and a Nature's Prophet split push. This is ballsy.
Long arrow, not going to hit, and they will back off.
Dire's top tower is under
Yeah, they've got to get back in defense. T3 tower actually gets destroyed. Radiant creeps doing that one. I think EG thinking they can maybe force a fight. I think they just want to force a team fight. Just by going for the T2, they thought maybe DTS 2010 jumps us and we can take a favorable fight. But DTS 2010 making the smart decision, not engaging into EG, knowing that the split push would force them back shortly. And EG's just... You've got to feel like in the gold leader side, it's just a case of dealing with the split push constantly. They're losing tier 3 towers slowly. They're just slowly losing their base here. The bottom tower down to 540, and this damage is not being healed up by anything. So
yeah, it's really going to up to Fog to find some magical hooks to set something up. But again, the team of DTS just so elusive with things like Leap, Force Staff, and of course Storm Zip getting outside of these cogs. I'm not sure what a cogs is enough. If you find like Mirana, or if you find Crystal Maiden or Naga Siren, getting a kill on them is just not really meaningful kill. So I think they're just hoping for some sick Echo Stomp. They do get Undershock, but I mean, it's just...
harass shock.
I mean, I think I've been pointing this out nonstop, but I still just want to say how impressive damage an Astral Spirit could give you if you hit enough heroes. It actually takes you up to a Raper-esque level. So I'm hoping teams will kind of take advantage of that and perhaps build him as sort of a semi-carry.
It's hard to do him as a physical damage hero because, like, what items do you go for? You need more attack speed. At the same time, you just get this. You don't have anything which sort of helps keep you alive. Like, you compare him to your main carries, like your Lifestealer. He's got Rage. He's got an ability to slow enemy heroes because heroes will just walk away from you, which is where.
Yeah, no. I'm not saying he's your Lifestealer, but I'm saying he has damage. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. He hits hard, but right now Mirana hitting a lot harder as he's sieging this tower.
Yeah, well, Mirana's going to get the bottom tower. Meanwhile, Nature's Prophet being annoying at top.
Crystal Maiden's going to eat a couple of nukes to the face.
The homing missiles on the Mirana. Just a level 1 homing missile still. J-Rex actually gets stunned at the backline. He was hit by an arrow. Wow, okay.
I mean, these guys actually need like an urn or a mech or something. The Radiant. They're just eating these Astro nukes and they're hurting quite a bit.
Well, Mirana going to go start just chipping around these Raktas here, knowing that the split push at top is going to force heroes up there. How much longer in this Aegis as well? Oh, that's it. It doesn't feel like much longer, and it is only going to be another
top lane. They're going to hex up on CA again, vacuum backwards here. I think CA is going to be dead. The Echo Stomp's going to be on top. The Force that brings him back out, but the Purge is going to be on top, and well...
Throw your ultimate. There we go.
Back in the bot lane, though, they're saying they're actually gone on Jail. Jail's actually attacking a lot. Psalm the Siren. They instead are going to try to right-click him down. Jail, he's going to be dead. Divine going to get dropped. Get out of there. Seam of the Slayer. The buyback comes in from CA. Oh, the Stomp's going to be there. No, the Stomp gets cancelled. CA buys back. Well, he's also going to be dead. Fog's now caught up on the right side. No, it's going to be a Crystal Maiden that gets caught. Mirana just need to get out and build back up.
Mirana's helm. Universe has claimed a prize from Seema the Slayer. Well, he may have the helm of the Dominator, but right now it feels like Mirana is the one dominating everyone. She dropped the helm thinking, hey, I've got this Aegis, but the Aegis then expired. And Mirana's going to have to rebuy the helm. Actually buys a BKB. I like this decision so much better right now. With the Divine Rapier, you need the BKB up. But no buyback on Mirana, but when you've got a Divine Rapier, buyback probably not your biggest concern. Staying alive is your biggest concern.
So is the game lost now? What's the deal? Like,
I mean, EG win that fight as far as numbers go, but as far as losing a Divine Rapier, that's a net loss for them. That's a 6.2k gold loss for them.
so Darkseer buys himself a BKB. I think Darkseer should just get Blink. Him and MSS should get Blink and play yourself.
MSS doesn't need a blink.
No, you blink and hex a Mirana and kill her because she's got your Divine. Right?
Yeah, I guess I think with the, I mean, at least one of them should have a blink. Like you say, the Darkseer can benefit a lot from it. You've got the Clockwork hook shot.
Oh, they see Storm. They see Storm. The Storm sees him too.
Storm started off playing really well, finding so many pickoffs. I feel like we just haven't seen much out of him the last 10-15 minutes or so.
I mean, every time that CA dies on the top lane, he just jumps on the bot and just initiates. He initiated on Jo and forced that out. And Naga Siren, I think, you know, we're talking about Storm, Mirana, and Prophet, but Naga Siren, that sleep, when BKB was popped on Jo,
Yeah.
Naga says, thank you, now you're dead. So,
They only just killed him though. Storm was like alive on 200 HP, ended up dying, and Mirana was like on 200 HP as well. They only barely killed Jo.
game is tough for EG right now.
Well, it's actually dipped a bit back in EG's favor, but a 20k gold lead does not tell the whole story. When 6k of that 6k gold invested by Gyrocopter goes the way of DTS 2010, you're looking at more like a 30k gold lead. Does that add to Mirana's net worth, the Divine Rapier? Because Mirana's at 30k net worth, and I'm pretty sure that's including the Divine Rapier.
Yeah, I think so. Because if you can look at Jo, he's still the M4, right? So.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't add it to Jo. I guess it's just whether or not it adds it to Mirana, but it looks like it does. So 30k net worth Mirana. Do the math
This is one
for
of
me.
the first time seeing such a high net worth Mirana.
This is 6-slotted Mirana.
Long arrow, that's not gonna hit. And right now, EG is gonna do a Hail Mary push down the mid lane. They got a Reaver down on Gyrocopter, very, very tanky. There's no reason you take this fight at tier 2. Just let them have it. And buy a little bit more time. Prophet split pushing up top, and eventually he's gonna get to that base. In fact, I'm surprised that CA just don't
They should
straight.
glyph that too. Or do they try to look for initiation with an arrow? It looks like they're actually thinking about going in.
Crystal Maiden.
They've got Song. You do not fight outside of your base. It's so much
No.
easier to fight from the high ground of inside your base by the tier 3.
Actually, with that said, this lineup don't want to clump against EG, right? This lineup is so mobile in its own right. Maybe you do want to fight on the tier 2. I don't know. It's hard to say.
More split push coming from CA at top. He's, as said, doesn't have buyback any longer. And that's really the big thing is here, where he needs to be playing so cautiously.
Yeah.
As soon as the heroes in mid lane go into fog, you back off immediately. You cannot hang around for any longer than you'd like.
I think if CA had buyback there, he should straight TP into the rack and start right-clicking in to force EG back. Now the fact that they don't have buyback, look towards DTS, they should be playing very, very defensively until buyback gets available on the core heroes.
Yeah, Storm without buyback. He bought back last fight, bought Boots of Travel, which is a nice item to have on Storm Spirit regardless, but he'd love to have the Lincolns which you talked about to deal with these hexes, because I guess he's less high priority now that Mirana's Divine Rapier still.
Did you see the crit on Mirana?
No.
Do you want to take a guess on how hard he's critting?
Well, we're probably looking at around 1,700.
Not that much. 1,500.
Okay.
Although maybe he should pop his threats in agility, huh?
Oh.
He shouldn't.
No.
He just wants more HP.
Anything for HP. He'd love a 7th item slot to get a Satanic up right now, but unfortunately not the case. Do you sell your treads, get a Satanic?
No, you want the attack
No.
speed. Maybe you drop your BKB and get your Satanic?
Well, he just bought that BK. You know, you keep your. I'd say drop your Manta Style if anything for the Satanic.
Yo, but Manta Style gives your... Actually, Manta Style fairly...
Doesn't get any of this plus damage.
A combo with a...
You can
great...
dodge a spell or two, maybe. You can just create
It's a
confusion.
great combo with your data list, though. Those illusions do crit, and they crit hard.
Well, not that hard. They crit. No, they crit for jack shit. They get those illusions don't get any of this plus damage. They get the damage from the agility treads. He's on agility treads.
He's on Agility Shreds,
There we
attack
go.
rope shot, and going for 1,600 now.
Well, Roshan back up. Do you give it to Seaman? Does he drop his Manta Style and pick up? I think you have to.
No, you give it to Storm.
Well, no Aegis on Mirana here.
Give it to Storm, I think.
It's risky.
Yeah,
All right,
Storm.
they're gonna go for it. Cheese on
There's
the
a
ground.
cheese, too. CA should... somebody should take that cheese. Mirana should take the cheese.
Storm's like, I'll take both.
Okay, cool.
I think it's fine.
Sorry, when I said Mirana should take the cheese, I meant Crystal Maiden. She's got slots.
CM, a lot of farm too. Almost as a BKB.
I mean, CM stands in the middle, freezing field, you focus her down, she cheats back up and be like Nova in your face. What's up? Alright.
Arrow goes
Oh,
searching.
that's gonna hit on MSS. Do you make the plays? Murana, BKB
BKB.
leaves. I don't know about this. Defensive disruption. The cock's right in there. CM. Oh no, Murana, what are you doing? He looks back in. He's dropping low.
Divine Rapier.
To face anybody for the love of God. Pick it up. CH trying to walk there. Stormtrade picks up. He uses cheese. He gets Hex. Freezing Field comes up. The vacuum. Undertaker. It's gonna be dead as well. He's got the Divine, so he retains it. CH dropping low. He also gets Hex. He's dead, and Storm is gonna just
Save that
get
Divine Rapier.
out of there.
What a disaster!
What a throw! Attempt. Didn't throw yet.
They came close. Storm's gonna go back in. He wants Fear. Fear should be an easy pick off with the Divine Rapier, and
He get a little bit more if he wants MSS.
there's a Hex up. There is a Hex in 5 seconds. Darkseer is going to Hex in 10 seconds, so double Hex is the one thing Storm's going to worry about here. You need a Lincolns right now if you're this Storm. You've got to say, look, these guys have 2 Hexes. I need a freaking Lincolns.
I told you he deleted Lincoln like 20 minutes ago, but he got Hex.
Especially with that 4-second BKB. Going to find himself a regenerate.
Is he gonna make some plays?
Well, it looks
I'm
like with
actually
all
not
these
sure
heroes.
about this BKB leaping Mirana, because that BKB doesn't give you immortality.
No, physical
It's not-
damage is still existing.
I mean, what the hell? Stormster zips in, he BKB, there's a pull on MSS, and I think with the Stormster having such a mobile carry, the fact that he just go in YOLO mode like this, but he gets clocked.
There's
on top,
Hexes.
He's dropping low,
They can Hex him.
back into the clock, Hex! Oh my god, they do get the Stormster, Seema Slayer's gonna be dead as well, and the Rapier goes back on the other side. They are leaving the sword on the ground, and guess what? Jail's gonna get it back. The throws are reverse throws. Holy bejesus.
There have been not a single EG throw here. This has just been some flawless play from behind Dota from EG. They haven't been ahead the entire game. They've been playing from behind, and
Do they win now?
sure, no buyback on Mirana. Storm does have buyback, I think. Yeah, Storm does, but look at Storm's items. He's not finding a Divine Rapier Gyrocopter with Satanic.
Well, you gotta chainstun him. Like, if you have to, you can't allow him to BKB. So let's count the number of stuns they have. They have Hex, they have Electric Vortex, and by the way,
Song's
that's
back up.
fucking it. That's like it. Like, cause Crystal Maiden, Frostbite is not a stun, and Snare's not a stun.
Radiant's middle tower.
Yo,
Do they
they're
go straight
just-
throne? Do they just
Yes,
tier
go
3
tier
talent
three.
throne? Buyback from Storm. They can't even fight into this. All the AoE combo spells from EG are up too. They've got Wall Vacuum. They've got the Hexes back up. They've got everything they could hope for.
Okay, so they're gonna go throne. They're gonna go for
Gonna
Rax, maybe rotate.
Split
for a
push
second.
start. Nature's Prophet's already top lane looking to split push, and
It's not fast enough.
DTS have had so many chances. They've taken all the tier 3 towers, but they just couldn't find Raxes. And EG, they back off.
Yeah, playing it very
Song.
safe.
Oh! Blink in.
Oh,
Catches
no.
Universe.
Universe
I don't know about...
It's got
do they-
BKB. It's got BKB.
I'm
All
pretty
the
sure
stuff-
EG can fight this, can't they?
Yes,
MSS
they can.
caught up by
Storm's
Storm.
gonna focus on MSS worst. JO's gonna melt one person on the front line, and now with with Naga dead, you just go back in. You just
Storm
go for the
can
win now.
fight. 4-second
You go back up top
BKB.
lane.
He can't kill anyone in that 4-second BKB. EG going to go throne. Meanwhile, Nature's Prophet will get one set of Raxes. Can he get another? Mirana's alive though. Mirana, the last hope for DTS 2010.
Yeah, Mirana's got no deep.
Arrow on
I
creep.
don't know.
The 5-second arrow hits a creep. Would have loved to have got that one on one of these carry heroes. EG, they're still going. They're going through. What's going to
He's
actually
gonna
stop
win
them?
this game. Oh, there's a Hex. There's a focus on defensive disruption coming out from Fear. Can you focus him down? Jail still right-clicking. He
Great
does
Ghost
have
Scepter.
Satanic. He's activating it,
He's
but he
so
can't
low.
attack out of the Sprout. CA's gonna kill him. CA's gonna get the kill. Somebody, for the love of God, pick up
Halberd.
that Divine Fog. Trying to pick him up. He's actually zoning away CA. There's a mech going up on himself. MSS as well as
Divine
everything coming
Rapier.
right back. Here comes the Crystal Maiden, but the Raxes, the Thrones going down. The Sprout comes in. The Echo Stomp. That's gonna hit on CA. And CA right now, he's dropping low. He's dropping fast. He's gonna focus on the Throne. Force half himself back out. The big creeps are hurting himself big. The Clockwork Hook from Fox gonna bring him down as well. And EG's gonna do it. They're gonna win this game that they should not have ever won. They're still focusing on the Throne. The Throne is at 2,000 HP. It's gonna be dead. They have done it. EG wins game 2 of the replay series.
How did they do it, Lumi? DTS 2010. Let's take one last look before it disappeared. Oh, it disappears. It was like a 22k gold lead that they had, and EG somehow turned things around, win a game that they shouldn't have, but they did it with some damn fantastic play from behind. I've got to say, EG was just such a composed team. They had such a great defending lineup, but even so, they were giving away ages. They lost to Divine Rapier. It was a 22k gold lead when you give away Divine Rapier. That just... Looking at the net worths at one point, it was like not a chance in hell that EG had, but somehow...
Let me ask you a question. If Jail got MKB, could they have won the game?
Instead of Divine Rapier?
Yeah.
Who knows? I think it's just a different game.
I don't think they could have. They just balls up and
Well,
said, we will Divine, we win.
They lost the Divine, though. ultimately,
but get it back. Who cares?
no. They won a team fight when the Divine Rapier was on the other team. Imagine if Jayo has an MKB.
BK leaping in and thinking, what the fuck?
Yeah, if Jayo has an MKB there and there's no Divine Rapier on the Mirana, then the fight goes a lot better, obviously. But I don't think
the Mirana. No, the Divine baited the Mirana to leap in, right? That's legit.
I think the Divine Rapier was unrelated to the outcome of the game. It was, as funny as that sounds, I think the bigger thing was just DTS 2010 underestimating the AoE teamfight potential that EG had, because EG just wrecked them with the vacuum wall and just all that AoE combos coming in time and time again. It was just amazing defense from EG. They didn't lose a single Rax despite 53 minutes, 48 seconds of constant split push and pressure.
Well, that was a sick 2-0 victory from EG.
Yeah.
Now they're 2-0 in the Group B of the WePlay.
All right.
What do you got next?
We've got Empire versus DTS 2010. So DTS 2010, they've got to bounce back after that loss, and Empire are going to be looking to continue their dominant streak. They're 4-0, sitting on top of this group, and that's going to be our next match. Tomorrow we've got Dignitas versus DTS 2010. DTS 2010, they're still looking pretty impressive here, even though they're not being able to seal a deal with a 20k gold lead in Divine Rapier. I've got to say, to be able to take it to a team like EG is still impressive in its own right.
Okay.
All right. That does it, guys. We're going to take a quick break. We're already 8 minutes past schedule for our next match. So our next match will probably be taking place after a quick 2-3 minute break. So, guys, we'll see you then. Stay tuned.